welcome to another episode of the Butcher's Bible podcast. I'm your host, Luke.
And I'm Ed.
And we are just two blokes preaching the good word of the meat industry.
One episode at a time, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right. Before we kick off this episode, I'm just going to do a bit of admin work. First off, shout out to Carl Hartington, Asgard Butcher. He just had a baby girl. Congratulations to you, mate.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And good friends of mine as well, Vanessa and Kevin Combs, also had a baby girl as well. So big shout outs to those guys. Woo! Welcome to the club, guys. Fucking best of luck.
Future butchers in the making.
Absolutely. Right.
And
Yep.
Guess what?
What's that?
We have got a sponsor.
No way.
We do. Someone's been listening to us.
Well, who?
You may recall in the previous episode, you were going on about a little hot sauce company, Waz's Sauce Hut.
No way.
They've reached out to us. They're a small family-run business that make outstanding handcrafted sauces.
Fucking A. They do, yeah. Incredible.
Indeed. Whether it's sweet or hot that you're after, they've got you covered. And I'm happy to announce that with the code BB15, you'll be able to get 15% off all products currently available.
What's that code again?
BB15.
Nice. Very good.
No, it's it. It's the real deal. Here, we're off.
So, like, guys, if you don't know the Waz's Sauce Hut, absolutely fantastic products. Won multiple awards for all his sauces. Just an honest bloke doing a good product. And couldn't be prouder. Fucking thanks for that, Waz. You fucking legends.
Yeah.
I
know. Can't wait to get my hands on the they got like the whole like bumper set.
The starter pack one. Yeah.
I know. I can't wait to get the Gentleman's Choice, which is like a sweet apple bourbon sauce.
Yeah. That's really good. But my favorite is like the Island Breeze. That is awesome. It's like a mango infused one, and it just goes really well with pork and chicken. And because I'm a massive fan of those two. Also, the fucking Kraken hot sauce that he does, that one like best taste in like the whole of the UK as well. That one's really fucking good. So if you haven't had a try of those or anything, guys, you can jump on and use the code because you couldn't vouch enough. But those absolute legends, incredible.
Yeah, that's BB15, 50% off. Go for it.
15% off. Let's do it.
I know. Yeah. Sweet. So I think we'll start this off, Anne. We've got there's a bit of news that's come out over the weekend.
Yes.
A fellow butcher and idol of many, Jared Standing, passed away over the weekend, or just prior to the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's a real shock. You know, everyone is sort of in a bit of disbelief, I think, at the moment, aren't they?
I was as well. As soon as I saw like the stories and the posts and everything as well, you just kind of like, what? Like the Burger Daddy is gone? Like, no way.
Yeah.
The dude was like a treasure, you know, because he was like one of the very first butchers we saw on Instagram, and he converted from the vegetarian side, and he was doing like incredible work bringing those products like in the US.
Yeah.
You know, one of those spots was like LA. But unfortunately, like LA, it's kind of gone a bit downhill. But you know, rest in peace for us. You know, that it is a big shock, and a lot of people are very sad, and that's why we're bringing this episode to you guys as well. We just want everyone to know that you know, you're not alone, and this episode is going to be based around that. And Luke and I thought we were taking upon ourselves just to reach out and say, this is. You know, you are not alone. Like, and we can guarantee that Luke and me, we're always open. You can always fucking call us, text us, hit up the Butcher's Bible podcast, like Instagram or even our personal Instagrams. Just reach out, you know. And if you are copping a bit of that head noise, you're just in a bad headspace, or you just want to talk out the week or the day or whatever, you know, you're just not alone. And that covers all areas from like apprentices to the older generation, to even women as well. But you know, it does seem to strike us as men really hard, you know, and criticism, and it's a really hard one to take on board, especially when you're trying to do an honest product like Jared was, and bringing and spreading that good word, you know, like we're doing here.
Yeah, very well said. You know, we're The doors are always open.
100%.
You know, with whatever it is, you know, it could be a small little gripe or something quite heavy that, you know, often that someone who has no knowledge of you and your experiences, that you just want to get off your chest.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just one of those things. I think that, you know, I've had my fair share of shit times, and just, you know, no man is an island, but at the time you think you are, you know, you really, it does benefit you to reach out.
Yeah, it does benefit you greatly. Just even having a chat for 5-10 minutes to someone, you know, and I think you and I are very blessed in an aspect of that you and I can call you any time of the day, any time of the week, doesn't really matter. And I can go, look, I'm having a bit of a shit time, or I've like done something extremely stupid, or I've just done something, but like, you know, because I'm customer facing as well. So a lot of my customers are friends of mine, you know, and I can kind of go, look, man, I'm struggling a bit, or I had like a real rough week, or, you know, home life isn't great. Like, you know, my wife is like my rock, and she's absolutely fantastic, and I can talk to her until the cows come home in that aspect. But there is certain things you can only say really that men will understand in a way.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, even just, you know, a passing comment doesn't have to be a whole essay.
Exactly.
Most guys understand how someone feels by a look. You know, I've had that experience personally as well.
How'd that go for you?
It was all right. You know, it's just one of those things where you go, "You okay?" And they go, "Yeah, I'm fine."
Yeah.
And then you literally ask the same question again, like, "Are you okay?" And they go, "Yeah, I'm fine." You know, and it's just one of those things. It's an unspoken thing, and guys, you know, there's no shame in reaching out.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this is why we wanted to do this podcast as well, and just to happy you with the shit talk that we've got in this podcast, and just really just brighten people's days, and just go, you know, two blokes are just having an absolute crack at it, and they're giving me an hour and a half of my day, and it just goes smoothly, and I feel a bit better, or I feel happier, like listening to this or doing this and that. But it does come, it really does come down to that, like, how, like, are you okay? Are you bogged, mate? Like, you know, are you bogged is a really good Australian Instagram done by Mary as well. And it literally means, are you okay? You know, and she's out there helping men who are in like the mines and everything else as well.
Right, yeah.
And helping with that mental health that comes to it. And, you know, in Australia, we do have, like, are you okay, mate? Like day. So everyone checks in on their friends, and, you know, because mental health, like a lot of us men, you know, we lose, I think it was like what I researched, like, I don't know, ages ago, was like we lose like 27 men every minute or something ridiculous, you know, into suicide. And it's just not work orientated. It's if you've gone through a divorce as well. And those divorces is when you can't see your kids that you love very, 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 very much, and you can't see them because this ex-partner of yours is just taking them away from you, or it's money troubles, you know. And it's
financial constraints. Financial is a big thing. You know, it has been for me in the past.
Yeah, definitely. Me as well.
You know, money's money, but, you know, it makes the world go round, and so you feel trapped, and you feel like you can't do anything because, you know, every day you seem to be spending some amount of cash.
Yeah, because you're trying to save those pennies to fill up the car, to travel to the job that's going to pay for other things.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a never-ending cycle. But just remember, like, if you were to leave that day, it has a massive knock-on effect to everyone around you. Huge knock-on effect. And I hate being that person to say, but it's selfish. But it's nothing that you can't reach out to anyone and just say, I'm not okay.
Yeah. It's just, I'd hate to truly be in a position where where you feel like that is the only option. And it is a sad thing. It's very, very sad, you know. You know, and I'd like to go on record and say that Jared was a huge inspiration for me to start off with. Massive. You know, he was the first person that I followed off of my own personal account prior to setting up fake duck butchery or anything. And he just kind of made it, he had tattoos, he had a beard, and I was like, I could see myself, being like him. And I was like, this guy's fucking cool. And he's a real sort of idol I had, when first starting out and being like, this is a cool guy. This is the guy who I would aspire to be in terms of, just through the content that he's putting out and then the quality of his end product.
Yeah.
And it was, I was quite lucky that I could, like many people, reach out to him through Instagram, where you just in a passing message. I was never fortunate enough to actually talk to him over the phone, but, like many people, I'm sure, sending messages, getting words of wisdom, however dry it may be.
Yeah, no, of course.
And yeah, he was just on it from when he was building up his shop to his future projects that he had planned. It's one of those things because you're not directly involved or related to it, but you still feel
that journey all the way through. You've seen them posts, you've seen their lives, you've seen the things that they created, and you see all these big, beautiful ideas come to fruition, and they've like just overnight, it feels like they just come together, and you're like, and the moral support, and the thing you think in the back of your head is, fuck yeah.
You feel part of the journey, so you feel you're invested in it. When this sort of thing happens, it just rocks you to the core. Yeah. I've had family members who have passed away recently, and it's no, I'm not liking it to direct family, but it's no different. The energy is still the same. It's just still a shocking moment. When I was just like floating around the flat for a little bit, and just being like, I did talk to this person. I didn't know them personally, but they were still quite a large influence on my life.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just sad that it gets to a point where certain things take over, I guess. Mindsets and reasoning. I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm not directly involved, but I just want to say, legends. Yeah, he was a legend.
100%. And to push through in the climate that the butchery world is going through is like since COVID, and I know we fucking is so sick of COVID and everything that evolved around it, the negativity that came through it, and the amount of pressure and the amount of demand and like supply and demand that came with like all of that. Like, and we were underneath the thumb to like a new degree, and like Christmas it's a mere like drop in the ocean than it was like when COVID was here. And, especially in America as well, like where he is, like it was LA, I think, one of his shops.
Yeah.
But they're very food orientated Americans, and like they're really built around meat and other things. Like I know a lot of people disagree, like, oh, they got the vegan and vegetarian community and whatever else. But you wander down in like LA anyway. You got taco stands, you've got like fajitas, you've got like the whole shebang. It's all meat orientated. And for him to be where he was, in the climate that like LA was in, which I've only like read or seen or heard like through other people and whatnot, LA did really, really, really fucking suffer. And it was really sad, like so many businesses in LA just shut down because the bigger parts of those, like, supermarkets and everything, like were in demand more than the small Joes and family restaurants that have been running for like 50 to 100 years. Yeah. Those guys suffered more than ever.
I don't think it's really recovered.
Yeah. No, it hasn't. No, and I'm not discrediting anyone around the world. There is parts of like Italy and Greece, and even here in the UK, as we know, like our high streets, they're almost empty. There's more charity shops than ever.
Charity shops, opticians, and coffee shops. That's what it is.
And there's pharmacies and booths and everything. And I'm like not discrediting any of it, like, but it's like
don't forget Greggs. Don't forget Greggs.
Fucking Greggs, man. Honestly, those sausage rolls are so fucking shit, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, what is that all about? They've got such a law behind them, but they're just utter trash.
They have such a cult following.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a massive cult following. But like, I don't think you've had like a real sausage roll from like the Ginger Pig or something, or like ones that we can make at home, or the ones that I make at my shop as well. Like, it's 99% meat and there's like 1% pastry. But then Greg's, it's like 3% meat, like 90% pastry, and the rest is all chemicals that were spoken about. And fucking
inside it. It's just like fuck all inside the pastry. You're like, is this supposed to be pork? What is going on?
Yeah, right. What is this? Like, what does this taste like? It doesn't taste like anything. It's just fucking bullshit. I know.
Yeah.
But anyone who's listening around the world who's like, what the fuck is Greg's? It's just a fucking massive pastry. What is it? Like a bakery goods.
It's just like it's cheap baked goods high street store. I know I can't like it to anything else. But yeah, it's pretty shit.
Yeah.
There's people who are going to be going, no, what are you talking about?
Don't talk kilograms.
Yeah. Five sausage rolls for £2. You can't knock that.
No, of course. But then you're like,
well, we are. And
yeah, of course. Okay, now. Oh, Greg's is disgusting. And then they got their shit coffee that they do as well. And I tell you what, being in Europe, which, you know, the UK is, like, the coffee game is phenomenal. The coffee is so good in this country. I love it. I never really drank much coffee back in Australia, but it was like a lot of Nescafe and like other local brands, but it just always tasted like really sour and bitter to me. And I wasn't sure if that's good coffee. So I really didn't drink a lot of coffee or eat a lot of chocolate back home in Australia, just because it fucking melts. Like, you just put it on your dashboard in the car, you're driving along, and then it's like in 5 seconds, it's just like a puddle. And it's like,
gone.
And then you can see it like rocking in when you're turning. You're like, well, my Mars bar's fucked. That's it's a milk.
As a kid, when you had a melted chocolate bar, how you looked forward to eating that sort of solidified chocolate bar from the fridge so much.
Oh my God. Have you ever like melted a chocolate bar and then frozen it?
Not frozen it, but I've had a Mars bar that was like proper squishy, and then you put it in the fridge. About an hour later, you go back to it, and it's like a totally different beast. You're like fucking some kind of Frankenstein chocolate bar.
Oh God, no, that's fucked up. No,
never frozen one.
No, so what do you do back in Australia? So you know the deep fried Mars bars, you would melt them so that they go flat, and then so they go gooey, and everything fuses together, and then you'd freeze it. And then you'd like bring it back out, batter it, and let it kind of almost come to room temperature. And then you deep fry it, and then you got like a mixture of like the caramel and chocolate and all the gooey nougat and everything. It was just the worst thing in the world.
Sounds it. Then you get diabetes.
I got diabetes just saying it.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Yeah, I just want to bring it back to the whole mental health thing before we get with random tangents.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it is a real thing, and you've really got to just be there for your fellow bro. You know, to put it simply.
Yeah, of course.
I think, you know, I've had, you know, I can only like it to my own experiences of, sort of mental health issues. You know, I took a break from Instagram. I took a break from quite a lot of things, to be honest. You just really got to try and focus on yourself at times. You know, I've often wondered why I was the way I was and the way I worked.
Yeah,
I had a couple of years of sort of real self, sort of like deep dive into just my inner workings. You know, and I got my ADHD diagnosis quite late at 29.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
You know, because and then all suddenly everything lined up, you know, like as how I was as a kid. And, you know, it's just those things that it's perseverance and really just a bit of awareness. You know, I'm not taking away anything from anyone at all. No, I can only speak from my own personal experience. And the best thing is to talk to people, talk to someone. You know, if you just gotta, I don't know. It's a funny one to talk about, isn't it? Because it is stigmatized, but it's always there. It's right in front of your face.
Yeah. Let me ask you something then. When you were trying to reach that, like, what is wrong when, like, you're trying to figure out and put things together, and then you finally got the diagnosis for your ADHD, what was the feeling like when that came around? Like, describe it to me.
Well, when it was kind of like in writing, almost. Pretty much.
Yeah. And then you had to go home and process that. What was that like?
It was sort of like a moment of, I would say, relief, because I had spoken to people about my mental ability and just sort of divulging a lot of, I don't know, information that is personal and makes you, and to be vulnerable is quite a scary thing.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and it all kind of made sense of being like, I don't know, an angry child, someone who dissociates a lot whilst doing tasks, someone who is sort of quite a perfectionist, but also a bit all over the place. You know, it's a hard one to describe. Everyone's different.
Organized chaos in a way, but being really focused 200% on a task and make sure it is better than yesterday or the last week when you were doing these jobs in a way. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's why I've stayed in butchery for so long, because whilst my mind can fly off elsewhere if I'm tidying up the house or whatever, when I'm doing butchery, I have to be focused on that. Otherwise, you'll fuck yourself up. You
do some damage.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could agree with me that the times that you do cut yourself, you just think your brain just slips that little bit, and you and you catch yourself. You know, you're just not thinking about what you're doing. You're in a bit of an autopilot, and you forget that you've got a lethal weapon in your hand.
Yes, definitely. It's also a really good brain challenger as well when it comes to butchery, because it really has this, like, you have to be in the moment. I know you can do these tasks 100 times last week and 1,000 times 2 weeks ago, but there's like every aspect of butchery and how it works and where the seams are, where the boning, like the bones are, the cartilage and everything. You really have to be focused, and it really does put your brain in that hyper overdrive. But you do tend to wonder when you're doing the aimless ones of boning out chickens and doing those things. You can kind of drift away and do those. I've found anyway personally, but it is a really good brain challenge, and it's really good at keeping you focused on tasks.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you know, I'm no stranger to getting the old intrusive thoughts when you're doing the mundane things like packing mints. You suddenly go, wait a minute, what? I shouldn't be thinking about that. Well, you know, or just, I don't know, just something where you don't have to even think about it, and your brain just starts wandering.
Yeah, of course.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? You just,
comes with the territory.
Yeah.
It really does.
I know I've really tried to be self-aware for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Which it's difficult. Being in control of my emotions and knowing that I am not necessarily my thoughts.
Yeah, okay.
You know, when we go through waves and phases, and I went through a few sort of like a shit time a couple of years ago. And the only thing that really got me out of it was talking to someone who I wasn't directly in contact with, in terms of a therapist. I know that sounds sort of like so easy to say, but you know, that was what, you know, it was almost like throwaway comments I could say to this person, you know, because it's just a funny one.
It is like having that headspace built up, and it's like that pressure inside of your brain, and it just continuously just keeps building up, and I guess, like you said, holding your anger and like not misdirecting it at anyone, and just trying to understand and process what's going on, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, like us as men, it's harder to process feelings. It really is. And it's really hard to just talk to someone as well.
Yeah.
I've found over many years as well, you know, and I'm sure you have, and same with a lot of people as well. A lot of people probably listen to this and it's gone, yeah, fucking A, he's right. You know, but it's not weak. It's not anything. It's part of being a fucking human. And
yeah.
we need to break the stigma of not being able to talk. We need to speak up, because, you know, we might lose another person next week, you know, and if it's another butcher, but then if it's another bloke, you know, it's another tragedy that you just got to see online, and you're just like, I don't want to be a part of that. Like, yeah. I don't want to see any more of that. We need to keep us all alive and going, and just keep pushing. And we just got to talk and talk and talk and keep processing and processing. And if that does take 1,000 hours of trying to process these emotions or these feelings,
yeah,
you know, and I you know, and therapy is a good one. You know, you said therapy, and I found therapy very beneficial.
I did, and I was against it for so many years. So many years. You know, I think it was when I got to the age of, you know, a bit of a tumultuous late teens, when, you know, with my parents splitting up and moving out at an early age, moving back in, moving out, kind of not being settled really.
Yeah.
For years. And it's a bit like quitting smoking, right? If someone says you need to quit smoking, you're going to go, fuck you. And like, I'm not going to fucking stop smoking.
Rebel. Yeah,
right. But you have to, it has to come from within.
Do you know what that is though? You know, when you said like someone told you to do something, but it sounds condescending or it's not part of your agenda. It's called the child and the adult. That's called, I learned that in therapy. It's called child and the adult. So it's Luke said to Ant, he needs to quit smoking, but Ant said, fuck you. That's child and the adult. And that's a part of your brain that hasn't developed where you've had stable parents or anything to tell you otherwise what's good and bad. Right. And that's what that is called. And I learned that through therapy as well, you know. And a lot of people are like, well, hitting them with a little bit of wisdom. But,
yeah.
But it is like a part of your brain that's still a child that just doesn't want to hear what's, you know, beneficial or what's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, or just abstaining from authority. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah. You know, and I don't understand how people, you can and you don't, but like how people become drug addicts and live on the streets and everything, like, you know, that's a whole different kettle of fish. And
again, that's sort of, you know, drug addicts, that's dissociation. They're doing that for escapism. I myself have had years of smoking way too much weed, and just because I was like, you know, you feel like people say you can't get addicted to it, but you can get addicted to the ritual and how it makes you feel.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And it's like drinking, anything. I've had issues with drinking as well. And it's only in the last 2 or 3 years that I've actually tried to get a handle on it and be, like I said, more aware of myself, because it's not just yourself who you're harming.
Yeah, it's everyone around you. And that's part of the suicide as well. It has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
And it goes down the chain. It goes down the chain. It's like you keeping morale up at work. Like if you have a bad day, you kind of just pass that on down the chain. And it's like this other person next to you's fault. It's just you're in that position and you're in that headspace where it's simple, maybe before even starting, maybe turning to that person at work and just saying, do you mind if we have a chat for 5-10 minutes? I'm not feeling in the right headspace. And I guarantee 110% of the time, everyone's like, yeah, all right, let's take the kid off. Talk to me. You know, and I guarantee that.
Yeah, I know. I've had to, it's almost like swallowing your pride. You know what I mean? Sort of like, there's a whole stiff upper lip thing in the UK. You know, the British stiff upper lip of, you know, we will not be shaken, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
Brexit,
you know,
exit cunts.
But that's old news. You know, now you need to be in touch with who you are to progress. You know, there's no sort of like my parents' generation were the generation of
the canes, the ones where they're in school and they get the canes.
Yeah. And they were just like, they just swallowed everything down.
The walk it off generation.
Yeah.
The walk it off. And we came from the 90s, because you're a 90s kid as well.
Yeah,
and we were on the back end of the walk it off, where it was suck it up.
Yeah, but we got taught that, having a daughter now, I'm trying to break that sort of generational mold, It's sort of like being, just being there and aware of for me, my daughter's 6 currently, and being aware of a 6-year-old's emotions is fucking wild, man.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it's just trying to get a handle on it. I don't know. Early, I don't know. I'm just kind of just talking at this point.
Well, no, you're on the right track. You are on the right track. It's trying to help mold and develop a young person that you want them to see the bigger picture, but you also want to help them develop and stay sane in a crazy world.
That's it. It's a completely different world to when we grew up, And, I want my daughter to be emotionally stable and self-sufficient, and, and to be aware of her, emotional state, and not to control her or be a burden, of which many people feel like it is, when it really isn't. People think that a problem shared is, problem halved, and that is somewhat true. You do feel lighter.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Have you ever sat down with a 6-year-old and had a conversation that they were saying? I bet you that's the wildest conversation, but there's so many truths in there, because kids say the darndest things. And it's incredible.
No, yeah, we even had the other week, her mum's going to kill me for saying I didn't tell her mum this.
She don't listen to the podcast, does she?
No, she doesn't know.
We're okay.
Yeah, so my daughter was with me last week, and she it came to Friday, and she really didn't want to go into school. And I was like, well, why not? We had this hour-long conversation prior to even getting up, and I was like, fine. So this isn't going to happen again for a while, but you don't have to go to school if that's the way you feel. This is a 6-year-old saying this, and that's the way you feel. You're coming to work with me. And she was at work with me all day, building like a castle out of cardboard boxes and skewers and sellotape, and she had great fun. And it's just, you don't want to be forcing a child to if they really don't want to do something, that could have, lasting effects of, you made me do this, you made me do that.
Yeah, the resentment down the line. There is that resentment, Yeah,
even if it's subconscious.
Yeah, of course.
And as a 6-year-old, she made some good points. I didn't like school, so I was like, fuck it, come to school with me. Come to work with me.
Yeah, well,
James.
Every day's a school day in the butchery world.
That's true. And she was with me longer in the butchery than she would have been if she was at school.
Yeah, right, because she would have been 9 to 3 or something. She would have been 7 to 5.
Yeah, it was like 8:30 to 5:30.
Yeah,
we stopped for lunch. We went and got some sandwiches
from Greg's.
Yeah. Me, her and Dan. Her and Dan went and kind of just sat outside and just it's just a laugh having her there. Actually, it gives you a different perspective on things, which actually certainly helped me that day as well mentally. Because seeing your everyday through a 6-year-old's eyes is hilarious, because she came in and was helping Dan make the sausages, and it's just a right laugh.
That's awesome. Yeah. That would have been the greatest day ever, and then you're probably getting a ring from the school like, your daughter's not at school.
No, yeah,
she's in the fort.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, sorry, she's in her princess castle right now.
Yeah, that's it, the frozen one or whatever.
Yeah, and then she's walking through the fridge, looking at all the carcasses, going, so where are the guts? And I'm like, what am I creating? Right?
How am I going to turn this big piece of meat into little so I can take it home and eat it, Dad?
Yeah. That's it. She's like, where are the burgers? I'm like, they're inside somewhere, inside this.
Oh, that would have been like the best day out. Like,
it was good, and it was just less stress for me as well.
Yeah.
My mental capacity can only stretch so far.
Yeah, same with all of us, you know. Like, and if you had to drop her off at school and then pick her up at like 3:30 to bring her back to work.
Often, yes, but most of the time, no. Which then also puts strain on myself and Dan to try and get the work done. You know, he's a top lad. He really cracks on, and he understands. He understands the situation. You know.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not like it can't necessarily be helped. And I don't really want to be putting my daughter through that, you know, that sort of thing of coming to work with me every time after school. She needs some wind down time.
Yeah.
Afterwards. And
does she have like an after school like programs or anything she's involved in?
They do. They don't really have clubs going on at the moment for her age group, but there's before and after school clubs, and it's like it's more expensive than what it's worth, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, if for the hours that I would work when she was in the club, it doesn't make up the money that if she was to go there.
Yeah, of course. See, I came from a single mum as well, and I did all those after school clubs and everything, and I was the king of pick up sticks. But, you know, like I'd get dropped off at school and do the early ones that we do, like the PE, the sports ones, and get like homework and everything done. But I always did I always waited until 3:30 rolled around, and I always waited for the after school clubs, you know, and the pick up sticks one was really good. A lot of kick tennis as well, and you know, a lot of running around and running and doing laps and everything as well, was really good. And then you get picked up at 5:30 and you're just like, whew, really decompressed, you know, and you know, and dinner, and then you're in bed by 7:38. Just do it all again, you know. As much as my mum, she can't fucking cook in the lightest sense. She can't. She used to put stuff in the oven and then wait till smoke come billowing out of the oven. And she goes, dinner's ready.
It's ready.
And it's black. It's midnight. And you're like, yeah, this must be food. And I guess that's where my love for food came into it all, I guess. You know, because
you're like, charcoal again?
Yeah, this tastes funny. Because your senses when you're younger as well are just like, they're fresh, they're new, they're not being tainted in any way. And you're just eating charcoal. Like, it's charcoal on top, but it's still frozen in the middle. Is this okay? And then you're like, you're sick for a day and you still have to go to school because you got a single mum.
Yeah.
That was like,
how does this work?
Yeah, of course, you know. And it goes back to when I was an apprentice as well. And a friend of mine goes, yeah, take a handful of these chicken wings. And I was like, all right, because I was still living at home because I was like 14, you know. And I was like, oh yeah, like what, in the microwave for like 10 seconds or something? He goes, no, in the fucking oven for 25. And I was like, oh, okay. That's how you cook chicken wings. And did it and just got addicted to chicken wings doing it that way as well.
Nice. Yeah. You're like, how long do I toast these chicken wings for?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, do I put these in the microwave for like 10 seconds or something? And he's just like, the fuck, man? Like, this ain't no fucking McDonald's, bro. Like, this shit's going to take time. Do it with a salad and chips.
This ain't fast food.
Yeah, right. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I realized, the whole reason why I've been sick or had like all these stomach issues is because my mum literally couldn't fucking cook. She couldn't. And she admits it to this day. Like my brother will call me and he's like, oh, guess what we had for dinner? And I was just like, McCain's lasagnas. And he's just like, nah, we had like dim sims that were frozen, take 2 hours to to cook in the oven. Mum did them in 35. Still frozen. Still chilled on the cunts. Then my brother's like, he's just like, oh, guess what mum's cooked next? And I was like, oh, great segment. I love this. You know, but she admits it. She's just like, yeah, but just wait till the smoke billows out and the fire alarms go off and that's it. Dinner's ready.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mum. No wonder there's so many issues.
It's funny, isn't it, how food for many people is just functional. There's no passion in it. It's just like, I eat this to live. You know, there's no real theatre unless there's obviously like a smoke machine coming out of your oven.
Yeah, of
course. There's no real sort of passion to it. It's sort of like chuck it in the oven, pop on the film on top, and then chuck it in the oven or whatever you're cooking it in.
Yeah, of course.
25 minutes, you're done. There's no sort of like part of my evening is cooking. You know, people who I've worked with in the past are thoroughly sort of surprised that I say that I cook from scratch most evenings, and for me that was standard. You know, my mum,
Yeah.
she wasn't sort of like a gourmet chef, but she'd always be cooking from scratch, trying to at least. You know,
Yeah.
there'd be the odd frozen pizza here and there, or just
that Friday, Saturday night treat, almost like, oh, I can't be fucked kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or just a massive bowl of pasta and butter. You know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got to get those carbs and fats in, right?
Yeah, the classic.
Yeah, of course.
And and it's sort of she very much. I mean, she had 3 kids to cook for, and by that point, you can't really be fucked to cook a huge meal from scratch, can you? A lot of the time, but you know, she'd really tried her best, and can't knock her for it, to be honest.
No, 100%. No, 100%. You know, we do a lot of scratch cooking as well at home, but we do it in like a bulk form. So we'll do like a curry, but we'll make a sauce, and we'll make extra sauce, and then freeze that sauce, and then go, right, you got chicken, I'll defrost this bag, and then we've got like rice, all those odd strange vegetables that you've always got lingering in your crisper.
Yeah.
Like an aubergine and like a courgette, and then you got like a purple cauliflower for some reason. You're like, oh, let's just do like a tray bake sauced up, you know.
Nice.
And you do it that way, and that's how like my wife and I found it. But her mum, fuck me, her mum can cook, bruss.
Yeah,
She can cook. You know, she's fucking like top tier. She can make
nice
like a Northern Indian dish, because they've been traveled. They've visited like over 100 countries. My in-laws.
Wow.
And they've gone to India. They're going back to India, but they're gonna do like a really northern bit of it, like really like hidden away. But she's been to North India, and she can go, well, I'm going to make this pulao, like dish, but I'm going to do a turkey. And then she'll shred up this turkey, and then she'll make this sauce by scratch. And it's just like, it's no flavors you'll ever pick, but it's just incredible. And it's just like,
they really work.
I always get fired up because I got the meat. She's got the like the knowledge and the inspiration. And it just gets me fired up to like eat food, you know, and it's just so good. And like her veggie curries that she does as well. And you couldn't tell that there's no meat in there. And same with the mimosas and everything she does as well. It's just phenomenal. And it just gets you like, it just puts that oomph back in you again. You're just like, yeah, nice. You know, like Friday night is steak night, date night for us, as much as, you know, we got an 8-month-old. You know, and we do steak night, date night, but we do a peppercorn sauce by scratch, flambe it, and do the whole shebang, and it's really good.
Nice.
And that's our highlight. But we do pull out all the sauce bags, or like, you know, all the stuff that we've pre-made, because, you know, you got an 8-month-old, like it's hard work, and you've been there, but you got a 6-year-old, but 8 months is like, it's really intense, isn't it? Because they just want mum, where it's like, okay, I've made this sauce like a month ago, and you just put it all together, and it just tastes exactly how it was, you know, a couple of months ago, whatever it was, you know. It's really good. But it's like, but there's a lot of, I'm just going to go back to what you said as well. When you're like the older generation, like you were saying, you know, people who just have, I live by myself and I'm not cooking for anyone else, and just want those microwave 25-minute ordeals, you know, prick the tops, like you said, and whatnot. Yeah. Kind of, when you hear that as a butcher, and you're kind of like, oh man, that's really sad. Or it's just like, what about it if I interest you in like a pork corset or like a tiger tail or something? And then it's just like, no, it's just, it would just go to waste. I don't know how to cook. And it's like, no, but the instructions are on the bag, and you're not trying to sell, you're not trying to be like a used car salesman or anything, but you're just trying to encourage and give a little bit of light and a little bit of oomph back to people who are cooking again. Like, regardless, like, my wife will hate it. If she was to die, and I was like a widow, she'd go, you'd be the greatest host, because you'd be smoking meat, drinking beers and red wine, inviting every prick over, and just turning into a massive ordeal. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I would do. But like in these older generations, it's just like, have you lost the way of breaking bread?
Maybe, yeah.
And like, I just don't understand why you can't just invite like so many people, or even the people across the road on the streets or whatever, people you wave to or talk to every day. Invite them over, break bread, you know, cook something and make, you know, turn it into a ritual where they're all like, they just get a bit sad and depressed and alone, and just like their headspace must be just so hammering to them, you know. And I just don't think I could deal with that, because very social butterflies. You know.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
You know, that's it for me. That's my yarn.
I think as a butcher, to help people cook, you know, it's part of our job to help people cook better food. You know, in, as you say, like the corsets and even just like marinated chicken breasts for them to. I don't know how to cook it. It's a way it'll go to waste. Like just literally put it in the oven, the same as you would sausages for X amount of time, and that's it. Mm-hmm. They were like, "Oh, is that all?" You know, and then that's you just kind of giving them that little, you know, olive branch into sort of like just look after yourself. You know, a lot of your
stop having these processed meals. And I know we've touched on processed foods before. It's not food. I'm sorry.
It's not food.
It's not. It's not food. And you wouldn't need to get that oomph back in you. Get fired up. Get fired up. Just stop getting a bit of oomph in your step and start eating good food and respecting that carcass and, you know, talking to the butcher again. You know,
respecting yourself.
Yeah, respect yourself. There you go. I know a lot of people will be like, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a funny one, you know. My girlfriend's Greek and well, half Greek, and her mum is like from Greece. She came over here as sort of like you know, I don't know, as a kid maybe, I don't know, probably get that wrong. But she's first generation sort of immigrant, if you will. And yeah, the food she cooks is brilliant. And it's all wholesome. It's all that they go to their local organic farm shops. They're fortunate enough that it's just down the road, and they're fortunate enough to be in a financial situation where they can go buy good food. You know, there's nothing in that house which is really bad for you. She loves her ferments. You know, she does all like fermented and preserved stuff, and
the pickling. All, that you mean?
Yeah. It's all about your microbiome, your gut, all ailments.
Yeah,
pretty much can be linked to a diet. 100%. You know, whether that's physical or mental issues, a lot of it is to do with your nutrition. You know? So it's all to do with.
It's what you put in. It's what you put in will show on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why most of these, like, you know, like to go back to the vegans, that's why most of these vegans convert back to eating meat. Because of the processed foods and the amount of upkeep for juicing stuff to get the calories, to get the vitamins and the minerals. You just can't dive into veganism or vegetarianism without knowing your body. Like, have you got Mediterranean background? You know, have you got like a Russian background or whatever that, you know, or Viking background? You know, the Vikings have like a different type of blood type that needs a higher iron. Like intake, you know, and same with Mediterraneans. We need fats, you know, because I'm Spanish. I need fats and to keep my skin preserved and to keep this aging, you know, as well. And same with like your mother-in-law. There is like a certain type of body, and like how you need to know how your body works. And she's very blessed that she knows how it is because she's kept that in the bloodline, you know.
Yeah. You know, she's all about it. And I'll walk in with a bag of M&Ms and she'll have my freaking. She have him by the throat almost. No, she doesn't actually. No, she doesn't. She's like,
let me see those.
Yeah, she was like, you know what's in them, right? I was like, yes, and that's why I chose them because I needed a quick sugar shit food fix. Thank you very much.
I need those empty carbs. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Oh God. Hopefully she won't listen to this, so it'll be. Oh, I'm fine.
Well, you should because we talked about her. Oh, I'm a star now.
No, yeah, she cooks great food. She does this lamb leg with garlic and cheese.
Cheese.
You know the same way you shove a cloves of garlic in a leg of lamb.
Yeah.
She just sticks cheese in it, mate, like a dark red Leicester or something.
Oh wow!
And cook and roasts that. I tell you what.
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't think it's authentic Greek. It could be. I think she said it is. And it's brilliant. Absolutely amazing. It's just like the saltiness of it. Of the cheese, and sort of like that sort of like umami sort of flavor of like just a full mature cheese flavor with the lamb is brilliant.
Wow.
With shitloads of garlic. Yeah, you can't go wrong, can you?
No, of course not. I love garlic.
Yeah,
I love
it's like you read a recipe and you like 3 cloves of garlic. Then you kind of look over at whoever you're cooking with, or all by yourself, and you go,
Yeah.
that means 5.
That means
6.
10, baby. Listen, load it up. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But like,
No.
how often do you even taste garlic in food unless you do load it up? Is just like 2 garlic cloves, and you're like, nah, this bitch is going to need at least 10. I want to taste that. I want to keep the vampires away. Keep those antioxidants flowing in through my blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I used to do is when we smoked bacon, we used to smoke garlic cloves as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we garlic, like
The whole
bulbs.
bulbs. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so we'd smoke them. We'd give them away for free sometimes because the gardeners would have given them to us because they were less than prime to sell.
Yeah.
And I'd smoke them, give them away for free, customers, sort of like a gesture of goodwill. But often we'd have a couple of bulbs left over, and you'd see how many smoked garlic cloves you could eat in one go.
Is it gooey as well? So when you're like, you can take them out of the shell and just go, like,
No,
gooey?
not quite that because it's cold smoked. But if it was hot smoked, that would have been brilliant.
I love the
I
hot
didn't-
smoke. Yeah.
They were still crunchy, but they had that sort of like oak smoke look to them.
You would have
And,
smelled for like 5-6 days.
Yeah. But we would always be shouting about how good it was. And, it's really good for you. Do it when we're just trying to egg people on to eat them.
Really good. It's like, yeah, I can tell, bro. You're fucking burning my eyes.
Yeah. Step back. Please step back.
give me 2 meters, bro.
Valley. Oh, gosh. Yeah, funny one. Food. It's all about, just your main food groups, isn't it? Is actually what's, I know it's what you learned in primary school, wasn't it? Your main food groups of grains, proteins, meats, and dairy, and whatever.
Well, a bit of a fun fact for you: the food pyramid. It was all bought by the sugar companies back in the fucking 70s and 80s. They paid like the scientists $50,000 or whatever, which was like big money back then, but it was fuck all.
Yeah.
Apparently, though, they bought those. So like grains and sugars and everything else, and meats obviously on the bottom tier, which means that they had zero respect for meat. And now that they're, who's that bloke not vegan friendly, and Das Wolf and all those guys, they're debunking the whole entire lot of like the food groups and like the food pyramid, I should say, and they're going through each food group and they're just ripping it apart. Like you shouldn't even eat grains anyway. Like the only kind of seeds and grains you should have are like sunflower seeds or, like apple seeds, or like watermelon seeds, because watermelon seeds like will keep you more hydrated than I think it's like 2 liters of water or something ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very like there's a lot of science. I do listen to it, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do say it's just like these food groups make zero sense. Like bread and flour, like gluten's on there.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen the?
There's inflammatories. Like they fuck you up.
Yeah, they do fuck you up. That is literally it. A lot of food at the moment just, feeds into large pharma, and they're like, oh, you feel unwell, take this, that sort of thing.
Oh, you got anxiety.
I don't want to get on a witch hunt with anything, but a lot of everything is, one of the first ingredients is sugar. And have you seen the graph of the large sort of, like P&G, you got Nestle, you got all those
Kellogg's and all that.
Yeah, they all own the majority of the food network. There's like 5-6 larger businesses,
corporations that are above them.
Yeah, like Unilever and all that lot. They own pretty much all the food that you look at in the supermarket is owned by about 8 companies, 10 companies.
But you know who? So those original companies that you were saying were originally tobacco companies when they realized that tobacco was killing people. So they moved into the sugar industry, and then they formed all those and then grabbed. So Kellogg's back in the day, he was a real weird. The guy who owned Kellogg's, he was a real weird, like religious bloke, and he used to give himself like huge enemas and everything to wash out all the stuff. But he made the he did. He used to give himself.
I had no idea what you were going to say, but enemas certainly wasn't one of them.
Yeah, no, he used to give himself these massive enemas, and then he goes, because he was against sex and masturbation and everything, and that's why he made that planned cereal, that it would stop people from masturbating or having intercourse.
Wow.
Yeah, And that's why Kellogg's, and they've been pushing that and sugaring it up and glazing it with all those sugars and other bits and pieces. But yeah, look it up. Google it. Anyone who's listening, Google Kellogg's dark history, and that shit will come straight up. And the enema thing is fucking hilarious because there's high doses of enemas he used to give himself.
Is this a bit like why Disney made the film Frozen? Because everyone was Googling Walt Disney Frozen and how they froze his head or something like that, wasn't it? Is it another witch hunt like that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that one, but we need to fucking Google that. I got something for you though.
Yeah.
In every Walt Disney photo that you see of him, his fingers, he's got 2 fingers like that. They've been edited so that you can get rid of the cigarette because he was a constant smoker. So every photo he's doing, he's got like his hands like this, or he's pointing, or he's talking to someone. They've edited out that because he died of lung cancer, didn't he?
Yeah. And then his head got frozen.
Yeah, apparently. And then they made a bipolar bloody kids film out of it, you know?
Yeah, to stop people from searching his cryogenically frozen body.
Yeah, right.
That's the theory, at least, anyway.
Nice. This has been a great episode, Luke. I've had so much fun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Jen's is just, keeping it lighthearted whilst actually touching on a serious situation. And, everyone's touched by it somehow. Whether directly or indirectly, it's certainly an emotional sort of like thing.
Yeah, no, like we said earlier, boys and girls, like you're ever in that headspace, you just want to talk to someone, you don't know how to approach it. Luke and I are always open. You can always go straight to the Butcher's Bible Podcast Instagram, and one of us will pick it up. Just beat the stigma. Let's fucking beat it. We can do it like one chat at a time. It's that easy. I know it sounds easier than said than done, but I can guarantee any one of us will pick that call up, and we'll talk to you. We're friendly people, and anyone else in the butchery industry, anyone else in any other industry, just shout out, and say it loud. Be happy.
Definitely. Even just a simple hey or hello to open up the conversation. It doesn't have to be, laying it on thick. It can just be a simple hi or whatever. Or
lay it on thick and let us destruct it all together as a team.
Yeah, definitely.
It's that easy. But it has been a really tough weekend and week, and I hope everyone really enjoyed this episode. I know we touched on a lot of things, and we had some laughs in between it as well. But we're keeping it us, and I thought we would bring this episode to forward and try and reach out to everyone and say you're not alone. Let's beat it as a team.
Yeah.
But that's I've been really happy with this episode. It's been fun.
It's been good, eh?
Yeah, really good.
Open and honest, and that's all we can be, right?
Exactly right. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.
Fuck you, Greggs.
Yeah, fuck Greggs. All right, I'm gonna go.
All right, peace. Love you, man.
I love you too, and I'll see you guys all next week. Enjoy this episode. Subscribe, like, and follow, guys. Hit us up. Need anything, and we'll be there. All right, love you lots. Cheers for coming, everyone.
Peace.